Hey everybody, Ben here from DMC Films and Cinderblock Studios, and I decided to do another part of the How to Be an Artist this week. Uh, just because for some reason just something clicked into my head, and I was like, you know what, this is going to be really important to talk about. So, continuing that sort of more philosophical ideas behind how to be an artist, I'm not talking about technique or anything like that, just trying to think about how to get yourself into a mentality that really kind of drives you to become either a professional artist or just a really dedicated hobbyist. Um, and I think another really important thing here is to forge your own path. Um, so what do I mean by forging your own path? Well, the thought in my head this time around is that a lot of aspiring artists are going on DeviantArt or YouTube or maybe something like Instagram and seeing all these artists and are trying to follow their example, but not in the best way. They're trying to say like, I want to be like this artist, and they're following everything they do to a T, which is not right. Not even a little bit. There's, I noticed this a lot last year, and I think last couple years, is a lot of artists see Feng Zhu's channel and they take his tips and say, this is what it means to be an artist. I have to follow everything he says exactly. People do this with Cycler's channel a lot too. No offense to his advice or anything like that, but they take these artists' advice and say, everything they say is perfect in every way and I have to be just like them. No, you don't. Absolutely not. It's just not the case. It's just, what you're doing in this sense is not learning from these artists, but you're idolizing them. And to say like this person is a drawing god and everything they tell me is just right all the time. And being a YouTuber myself, I kind of have this issue from time to time. Every now and then, people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna follow everything you say," and I'm like, "Don't follow everything I say. Learn from other people, please. It's not difficult." So you look at these artists and you see their work and you see their process, but part of forging your own path is about taking from all of these sources and combining them into your own section, your own art, your own creative techniques and styles, and how that fits in with maybe your day-to-day schedule. Um, because my regular day job, of course, isn't going to be the same as anyone else's regular night job. You can't compare someone's rhythm and someone's habits to whatever you're going to do because they're not you. You have to walk your own artistic path, which I think is something a lot of aspiring artists just have forgotten about or just don't think about. Part of being a great artist is, at least in my opinion, that the ability to see all these other things and let them influence you, let them be a guide, but you don't idolize that lifestyle and try and make it your own. You make your lifestyle your lifestyle. Um, I think in many ways I'm not like other artists. So when I go to certain art shows and things like that, and I talk to other artists, I'm way more normal than these people. I almost feel out of place, because a lot of the artists I talk to are in many ways dreamers, in that sense that they sort of follow a little more of the starving artist mentality, where it's like, if I can't be making money on my art, I shouldn't be doing anything else, and that's just dumb. Um, so I think luckily thanks to some great guidance from my parents growing up, I'm a little more grounded. I'm willing to work an 8-hour shift, come home, change, and then go to a show, and really let that drive my work and drive my work forward. I think I'm getting maybe a little too personal now, though. I kind of want to throw this back in here. But yeah, going back to the idea that you watch YouTubers, and one thing I don't do on this channel, which I think is one of those things that I like sacrificing a larger audience for, which I don't care for, it is step-by-step tutorials, and I don't like doing them. I've done sort of a handful. A lot of my painting tutorials are similar in that way, but I don't want to say you have to paint this step, this step, this step, you're done, because the only thing that teaches you to do is to paint that one thing. It doesn't teach you to paint a variety of things. You have to learn the techniques behind painting, say, a cloud or a tree, so you can paint any cloud or any tree, not just this one or this one. I think that's really, really important to show artists and that part of walking this path of artistic path is being inspired and using that for your own drive and determination. If you don't have that strong will to do something, to really push your work forward, then that's when you're gonna struggle. You're gonna have these moments where you maybe have not so much time to do your work or less motivation. I love Adam Savage talks about your momentum being a powerful thing, and it's totally true. Like working on a project. This happened to me this past week. Working on a project, and then I had to stop, and then I didn't work on it for a couple of days because it's like I lost. Like where was I on this project? I don't know. My mindset just kind of totally fell apart. And that's one of those things that's going to be different for everyone. You can listen to a lot of advice, you can read as many articles as you want, but you have to find your own way to push forward. And I think that's one of the most important things in this instance. So remember, when you're trying to push yourself to be a better artist, you have to really forge your own path in that way. You have to find your own motivations, you have to find your own drive and your own passion. And for some people, it's a catalyst moment. You kind of have to take it one step at a time, but a lot of times you just reach a point where, like, is this something I want bad enough? And if it isn't, that will be the thing that pushes you forward. So I hope you've continued to enjoy these little topics and things like that. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more. And this has been from DMC Films and Cinderblock Studios. See you guys next time.